Hey everybody, I'm Joey Evans and we're going to do another Rapid Fire Roundup. Rapid Fire Roundup is a video where I go through some games that I've played and maybe I wasn't in the full review or we haven't reviewed on the channel or they don't need a full review. But a lot of these have been reviewed, but this is kind of my take and my opinion on them. Now before we get into all the reviews, these reviews will be broken up and placed onto the Dice Tower Encore channel. And if you're not subscribed to that, feel free to subscribe to that because that's great because every single one of these is divided into the game itself. So you can just search for a game and you can find their short 2 or 3 minutes reviews of each game. So if you're looking at buying something, interested in something, that's a great resource. So as the channel grows, there's going to be more and more on there. So make sure you check that out. It's going to be a great library on there. But now, let's go ahead and dive in. These are in no particular order. Some I like, some I don't, but they're all games. Let's get started. Okay, so first off is the next in the Forbidden line. You've got Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Sky, Forbidden Island, but now we've got Forbidden Jungle. So the whole idea around this is you have crash landed your ship and you are trying to get back and escape the jungle. So this whole thing, it's of course, it looks the same way, it comes in the tin and everything. But the whole thing with this is there are different aliens and things. The aliens look like kind of War of the Worlds situation. And you're going to kind of move around, you're going to move the tiles, and you have to surround the portal with different beacons and things. Here's what I did and I did not like about the game. First off, the adult aliens, they don't stand up great. Even when you spread them out and all this stuff, they keep tending to fall over. That was a big problem for me as well. But I do like the aliens, though. I like the idea of those. I like how they start off as eggs, they get bigger, and eventually come to adults that can sting you. A couple other things that I do like, because you move the tiles, the adult, I think it's just the adults that can do it, but they can put webs in between the tiles to where they get stuck, and you have to move those tiles to remove those webs. I like that a lot. Another thing I like about this game are the different asymmetric player powers on it. For example, I think the chemist is the one, he's like immune to stings and he can remove all the web tokens and the eggs. And he's kind of like the medic in Pandemic as far as removing everything in one fell swoop. And then also Navigator can move other guys. The different role powers are fun and they kind of add a bit of variability to every game. Also, they have different setups that can add variability to the games as well. You can have different setups, depending on the difficulty you want to go, and go through and play it that way. And the way they move, as far as the symbols going right or left, I like that. I like the variety that adds. Now, it has the same kind of Pandemic system where I think there's only like 4 things you can do. So it's a very simple type of system. It's a lighter game. I do enjoy this. I don't know how often I would bring it out. Another thing I don't like is that they're tied to this whole tin situation. Because those right there, it gets a bit annoying to have those tins on your shelf. I know it's kind of a thing, it's kind of their thing now, but it's annoying. But I do like the game, it's fine. I don't know how often I'd gravitate to it. But if you like the Forbidden series, I think this is a good addition to it. I give this a 6.5. So again, if you like the Forbidden stuff, if you like Pandemic, if you like that style, if you're looking for something that's kind of a light to mid-weight game, it's a good one. Check it out. That is Forbidden Jungle. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at a party game called Broad Lines. Broad Lines is a kind of Pictionary Telestrations style game where you're trying to get a word and you're trying to get people to guess that word by drawing. But here's what's different about it. You can only draw 2 straight lines or 1 curve. All right? Sounds good, right? But here's the rub. You have got to draw it on a transparency that's put on the sketch pad, and then somebody else will draw another time 2 lines or a curve, and kind of add it to yours. So the person who's guessing is looking at it, and then you add a couple more lines or a curve to it, and then you have to kind of gauge because you can't hold it up there and know where to draw. So a lot of times when you put those lines or curve, you're doing it here, you put them on there, they end up being in the right place or wrong place, normally the wrong place, and moving all around. So that's the thing. And it's really hard to put those transparencies on there and put it on. But here's a couple of other things. They only get 2 attempts at a guess, right? So they can't just keep guessing it until they get it. It's 2 attempts. You get a couple attempts at a guess. to guess it, to get it right. And the other thing is, the words aren't simple things like house. They're words like spruce, ostrich, scaffolding, portico, wheat spike. I mean, it's like, what? So that itself, it's honestly, it's one of those that when we brought it out, it's cute. It got some laughs at the beginning, but I can't imagine this hitting the table very often at all. I like the idea of it, but the transparency, I think there's like 25 transparencies. And that's kind of the timer and how many transparencies it takes to get you, once you get to the end of that, how many cards you've gotten through and guessed on and you've gotten. So, but then also the more transparencies you put on, the further back those first drawings are, and it starts to become more and more jumbled. It gets to where after you've drawn your fourth or fifth, everyone has at least attempted to add every detail you could to make it better, but it just becomes kind of this conglomerated mess or something. I like the idea of it. The reality of it is not good. There's a lot better party games out there. There's a lot better drawing games out there. So this was the big miss for me. I give this a 4. So you might feel differently. I think it's a cute idea. I think execution leaves a lot to be desired. That is Broadlines, and I give that a 4. Okay, so my next game is another party game, and it is called Block and Guess. Here's the way this game is played. You kind of have a card with different numbers and different words on them, and you have 2 builders, they're called. And each builder is going to get their own number, and so their own word. You could possibly have the same word, but many times you have a different word. And you both know the words you're each going for. But in the middle there are these wooden kind of, not really blocks, but I guess they're called blocks, but they're more wooden shapes out here. And you are going to give the other person 3 shapes, and they give you 3 shapes. So then you have to build whatever that is with those 3 shapes. So you're going to try to hold it out and try to spell it out, or not spell it out, but like try to create that shape. But then the other thing is, the people who guess get 1 guess, right? They get to say what they think it is, what they don't. And I never really liked that mechanic, by the way. I like to be able to guess. I like the time thing, be able to yell things out. But this is 1 guess. You get 1 guess. So it's really interesting. There's also construction cards in there that will change things. Like, for instance, once you have everything, you can only do it with your eyes closed. Or you only get 2 blocks instead of 3. So little things that add some variability to it. And then if you don't get the first guess, you get another round. And then you get 3 more blocks, I believe. And then give by the other builder. And they go for it. It sounds fun. But here's the other problem. Here's what I see with it. You tend to give the same silly things to them every time. Like there's a picket fence you're going to give them. There's a spiral you're going to give them. You're going to give these same kind of shapes back and forth. And some of them are pretty hard to make. I mean, when you get something simple like a mermaid, you could probably try to make people guess a mermaid. But some of them are a lot more difficult. So most party games of this ilk, they kind of comes down to whatever the word you have and if it's easy or if it's not. It's cute. It's a fun game. Again, there's other ones I'd gravitate to. I think it's interesting. It's original. But I don't know how often I'd play it. I would give this a 5.5, so right below a 6. Again, I thought it was okay. It was okay. So give it a try if you like that kind of thing. But building it's cute. I don't think we'll ever play it again. But that was Block and Guess. Okay, next we have a tile placement game. Oh, tile placement? That sounds exciting to you? Well, hold on. You're about to get more excited because this is also stamp collecting. What? Stamp collecting and tile placement? My goodness, it sounds like a good game. I'm just kidding. This is actually a pretty good game. This is called Penny Black. Penny Black, you are actually creating a stamp book, and you have all the different stamps on there. And first of all, this is when I actually found out that Penny Black is a very valuable stamp. Had no idea. But it's kind of the whole game centered around that. And you're putting them together in your stamp book, which is open. You have kind of 2 pages, a right and a left page. And each page has its own scoring mechanisms. But now the Penny Black is going to score in a different way. So pretty much the stamps are going to go and they can score different ways. Like, for instance, one side might need more green stamps. Like every set of green stamps scores 3 points, or every set of red stamps. Or this side could not have any landscape long stamps, or this one needs only square stamps. So you have different things like that. And then the Penny Black, the way it scores, it will score let me see how to explain this. You've got the Penny Black, and as many the most color that is around it times 2. So if you've got a bunch of stamps around it that are adjacent, but 3 are red, then you're going to get 6 points. So 3 times 2. And that penny black that's the way it scores. But the way you get your stamps, the kind of drafting, is they're placed on a board. There's a bag of stamps. You reach in, you drop them down, and you get to choose which one you want. And it's 3 stamps, unless it's a penny black, and then it's only 1. And there's also stars that you can cover up, and they give you special abilities like switching stamps, switching them on the board, switching them on your kind of book. So different things add some mitigation like that. But the tiles on this, they actually feel really nice. They have a really nice feel, those penny black tiles, because you reach in, it just has a nice deluxe feeling. And that's the whole thing. It's an exciting game. We play this after a polyomino game. It's not polyomino, it's tile placement, but it does give you that kind of same feel. I think we reviewed Junk Drawer earlier, and we played those back to back, and I really liked them both. But I actually really enjoyed this Penny Black. It's a fun game. I'm not huge into stamp collecting, but I learned a lot first off. But it's fun. Fun to place those down, get the different scoring mechanic, and also it's easy to learn. It's quick to table. It's a light game, fun into the night, filler style game that also has that nice deluxe feel. I'd give this a 7.5. So I do enjoy this game a lot. I do foresee this hitting the table a lot, even if people they don't really gravitate to the whole stamp collecting, because not a lot of people do, but I do, and I'm excited about it. I give it a 7.5, and that is Penny Black. And if anybody has any of those stamps, I'd sure like to have one. In mint condition, please. Just send it to me at the Dice Tower. No. Personal at my home. Don't steal it. Okay, so next we're going to go into a very pretty game. This is a game, I'm very bad about judging a book by its cover and a game by its cover. This one I judged by the table presence of it. I thought, ooh, that looks nice. And that is Bonsai. Bonsai looks very good. You are creating a bonsai tree, which I tried to do as a child several times. I was not very good at it. But ever since Karate Kid, I really wanted to create my own bonsai tree. So this right here, it feels really nice. And each tile you place down has different ways you can place it. But the thing about this game is there's pretty much only 2 things you can do on your turn. You can either meditate or cultivate. Meditate would be to grab tiles, or there's like cards in the center here that you're going to take, and they can give you different abilities. You can be able to hold on to more tiles, you can get tiles, you can then, I guess, cultivate different tiles, you can do different scoring things, and then you also get some of the tiles below it. So that's the way you're going to add cards to your side here, and also they will allow you to cultivate more. Or cultivating is when you take those tiles and you actually place them onto your bonsai tree. And each one has rules where it can be placed. Wood is placed onto wood, leaves are placed onto wood, and I think fruit has to then be placed onto 2 leaves, and it can't have any other fruit around it. Flowers are placed onto leaves, but they don't like to be surrounded by other flowers. They can be, but they score more the more open they have. So it's really fun. And what I found out, first of all, is how different these bonsai trees will look on the table. It's really neat, and some of them will actually be made. Didn't know this is a real thing, by the way. These bonsai trees will actually start to dip down and go below the actual kind of pedestal they're in. And there are pictures in the back of this book that kind of show you real bonsai trees that actually do this. And that's kind of just the variety of it. I had no idea. So it's a very, very pretty game. It's nice. There's also, at the end, there are challenges and different types of setup at the end that make it exciting, things that you want to do, and different challenge tiles to put out. And I think they're called everything like emperors, whatever. And it's a very nice variability to have on there. So I like when books add that and games add that in their rule books as far as giving you different ways to play the game. But this surprised me because it looks beautiful on the table. It's fairly light as far as rules go. I do wish there were more cards in the deck, to be honest, because at 4 players, it feels like it's over too soon, and you don't really get to make that big bonsai that you want to. 2 players is a bit different than that, but at 4 players, it feels like it's over before it began. So I wish there was a bit more cards, but it's a good game. It's again medium weight, light to medium, really fun. I think I would give this a 7.5. So if you think this is good on the table, something you like, tile placement, something unique, then give this a try. That is Bonsai. Okay, so this next game I was kind of drug into playing, and not because I wasn't excited about it, but because I wasn't excited about it. Yeah, so the whole thing is you're trying to land a plane with limited communication, and this is Skyteam. And I kind of avoid it because the whole theme didn't make any sense. I mean, why would you try to land a plane with little to no communication? But Camilla actually brought me into, she's like, you got to play this game. And we played it, and it's surprisingly a lot of fun. Skyteam is one of those that you are going to roll dice, and the dice are the way you're going to level your plane, you're going to deploy your flaps, you're going to extend your landing gear, and you're going to do all these sorts of things. You're also going to kind of clear out the airspace. So you're also going to remove different planes so you have more room to go, I guess, no more planes in your way. And then you're going to get closer and closer. Now, the great thing about this is there's a lot of variability on the different airports that you can land at. It's very different. And one mechanic I liked is you can actually put yours, you can go towards some coffee, right? You can use coffee to concentrate. And when you use the coffee to concentrate, it allows you to mitigate and to change the value of a die up and down. So you're going to need to do things in certain orders, and everybody has their own rules. And you can't really talk about where you're going to put dice. Die? You're going to put your dice, or your die, depending if it's one or two. You're going to put your dice, you have to keep placing it. And it's really funny because as you place it out, you'll get a, glad you put it there. Or a, and I hate that. You're like, I wish I would have known you're going to put that there because I have to waste this one. So that I really do enjoy. And it works here because it's a fairly quick game. So, I mean, if you sit there, you'll probably die the first time, right? You probably crash it the first time. At least I did. Maybe it's just me. But then you'll run it back and you kind of have more of an idea about how to change everything. Because there's a lot. There's a lot. Keeping that thing level, making sure landing gear is down, then everything's out of your way. There's a lot going on. And again, it is die rolling. You do roll dice on this. So there is some luck involved. There is some mitigation, but there is a lot of luck involved. But I do like the modules it has, the variability, the different options. This surprised me. This is a great game, and it's a great two-player game that feels good, that plays quick, that makes you want to run it back and do it again, has variability on it. And it sets up fairly quick too. So really like this game. This is a huge hit for me. I give this an 8.5. So that is Skyteam. And if you were on the fence, if you're not sure if it's for you, you know what? If you're at a Dice Tower Con or any type of convention, give this a try. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Because now I can honestly, I can land a plane. So if I'm ever stuck in the back and people are like, we need someone to land this plane, I'm like, you know what? Just tell me, am I the orange dice or am I the blue ones? That's all I need to know, and then I will land your plane. I need somebody to sit next to me and not talk to me and roll dice with me. It's that easy. That's Skyteam, 8.5. Whew. Well, that's it. That is it. That is a rapid fire roundup. That is 6 games. And what I thought of all 6 of them, had some good ones, had some not so good ones, but we had a good time, right? So again, you can check these out at the Dice Tower Encore channel, along with so many other reviews. And you can check us out here on the Dice Tower channel. Tune back in. Like to see you at any Dice Tower conventions coming up. My name is Joey Evans. I'll see you later on the channel.